So I never in a million years thought that I would be making this video, but this is a cry for help. I've already asked all of my close friends, I've asked my family, I've asked a few people who have reached out to me on the internet. I've been vulnerable about the true extent of my situation that I'm in and the challenges. I've relapsed, I've started drinking again. I think it's controlled. It's just so I don't have mental breakdowns at the end of every night. Basically, I have to sleep. With the choices that I'm making, I feel like my mom's gonna come back from the grave and kill me and bury me with her, honestly, with the choices that I'm making. But why I'm making this video is because I feel like I really didn't want what's happening, and I didn't want to be compromising my morals, and that is making me feel obligated to make a video about it, of like, okay, so I have to zoom out. A disabled person is facing homelessness, and she goes over her friend's house. Her friend goes, oh, why don't you do what I'm doing? And her friend, who's not that great of a friend, retrospect is 2020, or hindsight is 2020, or whatever they say, I don't know. But now I know it wasn't the best advice, but she said, well, why don't you do what I do? And she made me an account, and she picked out the pictures, and she wrote out the bios, and I went on a few dates, and the things that were said to me, I get cussed out if you're not going to do that specifically with them that first time. Even if you're just wanting it to be more of an ongoing relationship, like you maybe want more of like a mentor. If you guys didn't notice, I need an adult right now. Like, I'm an adult, but I don't have parents. The social worker bailed on me for the third time today. That also plays into why I'm making this video. The third time, and then she leaves me a message not even an hour before the scheduled time, and then she says she can't make it. I didn't get it till afterwards. I went to 2 different Starbucks, went in, asked if they saw anyone. That's like an autistic nightmare, honestly. And so I got home, cried about that for a while, and then I did my makeup because I was like, well, people only really listen to pretty people. And so I've tried everything else. I've tried my family. I've lied to my family and told them that I was doing straight up prostitution, and they didn't care. They left me outside. I told my family this last time, I can't come up with that 150 that you guys were gonna get me for they were gonna get me a hotel room while I was homeless for like 3 or 4 nights or something like that. And they said, like, you have to match it. Whatever we pay towards it, you have to match it. And I said, I have no money right now. Like, my ex did this, that, and the other. I have no money. And they said, well, do whatever you have to do to get it, and let us know if you can get it. And it was a Saturday night. And in the afternoon on a Sunday, the next day, I texted my aunt and I said, hey, I came up with the money. And she said, good, here, we'll get you a hotel. I asked them, I said, instead of me putting in my piece, can you guys just do 2 nights? Because it would be the same price for you guys. And they said, no, you have to contribute. And my aunt joked, like, go get a job at Walmart. I'm like, I need somewhere to stay tonight. It's 30 degrees outside. Like, even hypothetically, right? I can't. First of all, I have a service dog. I'm trying to get on disability. My body is failing me. And I don't want to have to be doing what I have to be doing. So, I hate to say this, but I haven't gotten any of like the little like super thanks things where you can get paid on here. The GoFundMe's both got shut down because people are getting mad at me because I'm trying to defend my choices right now. They're calling me, they're like, that's prostitution, or how could you do that? Or they say, well, alcohol's gonna ruin your life. You don't think I know that? Look what happened to my dad. I know where this leads. Hopefully it just is short term, but all the people watching me do this, including the internet, a few of you have reached out to me from YouTube. And when I finally, thinking that you might be able to help, because you do, you say, hey, I have a relative so-and-so, they might be able to help. Tell me a little bit more about your situation. Multiple of you have done that. And I do. And I say, well, I'm having to do this right now. And I really want to get out of it. I don't want to be doing this. And I'm having to drink just to cope with all the stress of it. Do you know what it's like being an autistic girl in the middle of burnout, having to go on date after date after date just for guys to cuss you out because they're not going to get it wet that night? Do you know what it's like for everyone to accuse you of being a gold digger, because most people are? I just want like a more mentor relationship. I like older guys. Before I was ever on this site, I went after like a 51-year-old. Sorry, it was by choice. I thought that he was, you know, more distinguished. I thought that he would treat me better. He didn't. He was the one that told me that he refuses to treat me differently because of my autism when I was asking for a basic accommodation, of just him letting me know the plan. You know, I don't like the vague plans, especially me. It's really stressing me out. I told him that for 2 or 3 days. He finally made me pull the autism card. Like, hey man, this is a serious issue. Can you please? And that's when he said what everybody else has been thinking this whole time, but he just had the balls to say it in that moment because he got mad enough at me. He said, I refuse to treat you differently. And I said, that sucks, because even my friends would need to treat me differently. That's the meaning of an accommodation. That's why I got all the paperwork to say I have X, Y, and Z. I am very much disabled. I am fully disabled on paper. But, you know, I watch a lot of true crime, and I'm putting myself in situations, you know, there's a dark side to the whole like sugar baby whole world. And that's these guys with the money. Like, they're the guys that never got the girls in high school. They had to grow up, you know, and get rich, and now they're going after the girls, but they have no relationship experience. They have no experience with women, or at least past, like, you know, surface level, past an intimate encounter. And if you tell them no, that they can't get that when they want it, for how much and everything like that, they will throw a fit. And all that anger that they have from their whole life of not getting acknowledged and not getting what they all think they deserve it. That whole like men are entitled thing that I saw on the internet a while ago, I haven't subscribed to it this whole time. But then sitting across the table, date after date, guys, I had like 5 or 6 dates in 1 week a couple weeks ago. You don't think I'm burnt out? And I've been fighting against not having Adderall. Do you know what it's like to have to go on Adderall during the day to be able to make myself look like a sugar baby, and then go on a date, maybe even go on a couple dates that night, do a phone call with one of these guys, trying to figure out who is gonna be level-headed and who's just gonna cuss me out? It's been a full-time job. And then in order to go out in the evening, then I have to start with the booze. And I feel like my little heart's gonna explode. I just had two different heart monitors on, because the first one, they're like, oh, that's wonky, let's do a second one just to be sure. Wear this one for twice as long. Sent that one in. And I have to call and get the results, but honestly, I'm too scared. I don't want to know. I'm kind of one of those people that would rather die out here than die in a hospital bed. But this is I'm not trying to be that dramatic, but I was bawling my eyes out earlier. I don't have any tears left. You know, I'm not going to sob to the camera. I tried that approach. It wasn't manipulative, it was genuine, but I tried that approach and it didn't work. You know, this whole experience has taught me that nobody's obligated to care. Even about the social worker, I was in distress, and my roommate, I was freaking out earlier. I was like, how could she? Why would she stand me up 3 times? The social worker. I'm like, is she just effing with my head? Like, and why would she give me the wrong extension, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, I mean, she has a life like everyone else. And I'm like, yeah, but 3 times? And like, you don't even know your own extension, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, well, you know, things get crazy. And he always, so it's just like, and I was so upset. I was like max upset, and I made a fool of myself. And I made a fool of myself on the internet. So I don't know if, you know, one of my really good friends and someone off the internet made me GoFundMes, and then they got mad at me. They both ridiculed me in the same exact way. Like, I crossed a line with them and said something about their character, and both of them reacted in the exact same way. They both deleted the GoFundMes. They both just completely like cut everything and was like, you are just mad because no one can rescue you right now. And people hate accountability. I know it makes you very uncomfortable, and people don't like thinking about, I know you guys don't like thinking about the sense of powerlessness that people are feeling, like they can't help in this situation. But why are you taking it out on me? Why are you getting mad at me and ridiculing me? And I know why. It's so you can make comfort with it up here, so you don't feel as bad about it. I know way too much about human psychology. I'm exhausted. I'm done analyzing. I tried earlier, feeling my feelings after I got home with the social worker. I sobbed my eyes out right there, just bawled and bawled and bawled, because I have always been accused of like intellectualizing all of my feelings and like having to get, why did she do that? Why? And I just let myself sit there and sob, and I felt it. I said, I am disappointed. And I sobbed and I let it all out. And it, oh man, when I say a lot came out, it was buckets. pouring down my face. I am disappointed, and I just felt it. I sat and I felt it. I said, I am confused, and I felt it. And confusion was like anger mixed with, it's like just like this hopelessness. Like you just want to know why and you can't. And I just felt like, I've joked about it before, like Ashton Kutcher's gonna jump out of the bush. You know, like you're on Pranked or something, or Punked. What's it called? Punked? I don't know. I sound like I'm a 40-year-old woman all of a sudden, but I don't want to be doing this. I never did. It all started last summer. This guy at Starbucks asked for my number. He kept bugging me to hang out. I finally hung out with him. He kept bugging me, and then I was homeless. And I knew that he viewed me like that, and I manipulated him. Maybe. Or he manipulated me. I can't tell. He offered to send me, you know, a couple $100s, and then he said, feel free to send something back. And I was making $100 to $200 off of pictures of my butt that weren't even from this year. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. I was a little fatter back then. No, but seriously. And then he sent me tights, and he wanted me to wear those tights for him because he sent me, you know, money the time after that I was homeless. I always hit him up like, hey, you wanna, you know? And so, but this last time he sent me these tights that were really tight, and I was having literally a melt. That's like one of my biggest triggers, is tight, constricting clothing. I can't wear normal underwear. I can't wear normal bras. It's very, very challenging. And I basically told him, like, I'm sorry, I'll get to it tomorrow, because he kept pressuring me day after day. Hey, did you get to those pictures yet? Hey, have you taken those pictures yet? Hey, how did the tights fit? Hey, blah, blah, blah. And he's in another state now, by the way. So, and I finally broke down, and I'm like, hey, my life's falling apart right now. I tried to get him on the other day, and I hyperventilated. It's the autism. He has an autistic sister. So I thought he would get it. And he said, I'm sick of you using that as an excuse for everything. So I haven't gotten financial help from him since. But the fact that the only reason that I'm indoors is when I sleep with people, think about what that does to someone's self-esteem. Especially when this was the last resort. And I tried everything, and I've told so many people what I'm doing and how much I don't want to do it, just for them to just look away. It hurts. So this is a cry for help. I don't know if someone wants to make me a GoFundMe. I don't know if like the super thanks thing would work, but I don't want to do this, and I'm telling you guys that. This is my cry for help. If you don't like me crying for help and it makes you uncomfortable, and I'm going to lose another 200 to 300 followers for this one, then so be it. But I have to put this out there. I need to cut the crap on what's been going on with me. This is not sustainable, and I hate myself now. Or at least this is making me, you know, see myself through that lens. I will always love myself because I have, you know, spiritually transcended that hate for myself. At least I like to think so. It's probably there on a subconscious level a little bit, but I do truly have so much love in my heart for myself, and that's why I'm begging for help. Because I'm thinking, well, you didn't truly, maybe just beg a little bit more. And you don't know how bad this is hurting my pride or whatever was left of it. So please. I went on someone's podcast the other day thinking that would give me exposure. And then I read the chat, and everyone was saying, when's she going to take her shirt off? And he knew that he was bringing me in front of that kind of group of people, and I had no idea. I trusted him as another autistic person. I was just going to go on another autistic creators podcast, and I was telling everyone in my personal life that. And then everything was, they were sexualizing me the whole time, talking about autism. I'm humiliated. You know, and I've had to drink to cope with all of this. Otherwise, that self-hatred, I think maybe I misspoke. That self-hatred seems to creep up at night, if I'm being honest. There is some of that in there. But I've been medicating it, you know, with wine, weed. I go up during the day and down at night, and I keep doing that day after day after day. Go on weekend trips with some of these people. I have to pay my rent, and I don't want to do it. I can't keep going on. Do you know how stressful it is going on trips, staying with a stranger in a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever it is, going out of town right now, always waking up in a strange location with someone who I have no idea anything about them. Knowing that my family knows where I'm at, knowing that my friends know where I'm at, that hurts. It really hurts. So I'm not going to make this video like that, but I need help. So I'm just sending that out there.